Welcome to the Cosmic Savannah with Dr. Tim Sumakwela,
Dr. Daniel Kanama,
Dr. Jacinta Delhaize,
Franz Ocampo.
Each episode will be giving you a behind-the-scenes look at the world-class astronomy and astrophysics happening under African skies.
Let us introduce you to the people involved, the technology we use, the exciting work we do, and the fascinating discoveries we make.
Sit back and relax as we take you on a safari through the skies.
Woohoo!
Ooh, welcome back.
Wow.
Yeah!
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back to the, second half of season 6, which we started almost a year ago.
Really?
Maybe more than a year ago.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Ooh, awkward.
But we are here.
Yeah.
We are here.
And you might have heard already that we have someone new joining us today to host this podcast. But he's not really new because he's been around for some time. Well, season 6 maybe?
He's new to the side of the mark.
Yeah. And that is our
Drum roll.
podcast manager, Franz. So welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good to have you in the room.
Thanks.
So we are now a 4-host podcast.
Wow.
So prepare yourselves for utter chaos.
I look forward to it. And the other exciting news is we are all sitting in a very fancy studio, and you may even be watching us on YouTube.
Hello, everyone.
Wave at the camera if you are.
I don't know which camera to look at.
No.
Of course, the podcast is still available wherever you get your podcasts as an audio-only thing, but we're in a fancy new studio at UCT.
Yes.
We have breathing space.
We are in the University.
Yeah.
Fair. We are in the University of Cape Town's One Button studio, which is very fancy. We're sitting on these nice couches with these fancy microphones that, like, you can just pull them to the right level that you want. There are lights and cameras all around us, and Sadiq is over there, one of the members of the One Button studio team, working on the audio and video settings, and I don't know what he does, but all of the magic. And it turns out that this studio has existed the entire time that our podcast has, and we just didn't know about it.
So apologies to us and apologies to you for any of the poor recordings which came out of the previous studio.
It is a bit surreal recording the Cosmic Savannah while having like space to sit.
Why is that? Why is that, Francois?
Well, the previous studio was like 3 people max.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why we couldn't have a 4th host is
Yeah,
because you
pretty much.
literally couldn't fit 4 people into the room.
Never had space in there.
Well, I mean, we started in a small garage like every big good startup. right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We
Now
do
we're
know
moving
that.
up.
Yeah, we do know that starting a podcast together is like the millennial version of, do you want to start a band together? So we've essentially gone from garage to, guys, we're making it big time.
Yeah, we're
Wow.
we're millennials, but there's like another 2 generations after us at least.
Oh, yeah,
Is
that's
there?
true. I don't know. When
Francois.
I'm
you've
Gen
been,
Z. What are you talking
are you Gen Z?
And then what
Oh.
comes after that? Because there's
I have
another
no
one.
I think there's a Gen
Gen
Alpha.
No, Alpha.
That,
Yeah.
that can't go. Yeah, can't be X after. Is it?
No, yeah, no, sorry.
Anyway, so we digress a little bit. That's to be expected. What are we talking about today?
What have you been up to?
Oh, yeah. So why did we stop our episode like halfway through?
Who's going first?
Whose fault is it?
Everyone take a deep breath because guess what? 2025 has just started and it's already April. No, I lie.
It's still
nearly
April.
May.
It's nearly
It's still
May, yeah.
April though. It counts.
By like a day.
Yeah. Look. Okay. So where we left you last, our last episode that we did all together was the live show at
Yeah.
the International Astronomical Union's General Assembly, where we had a live show at the Cape Town International Convention Centre. We interviewed Nobel laureate Brian Schmidt and Cape Town's own Nicole Thomas. It was such an awesome event.
It was.
And then we all burnt out like anything after that.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we all
Collapsed
just
into a heap.
crashed.
Yeah, we crashed. We crashed hard and continued to crash for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think I just kind of did bare minimum until December. Yeah.
Well, you're lucky. I continued to work harder than I've ever worked in my entire life trying to finish off my lecturing course and then crashed like a plane.
I actually got sick twice. Just sometime just after the GA, I had like a lung infection thing
Oh my
going
gosh.
on. And then once I thought that was over, then I had surgery later on. So that was the end of my 2024.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about you, Francois?
No, I just crashed out with honors.
You were finishing your honours year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about
project.
that.
No, it's quite rough because the first 6 months were quite chill. Because of the GA, they had to like swap a lot of lecturers out to later in the year. which is a great thing at the beginning, but not so great when you have a mini dissertation to do and then more lectures each week than you had in the first 6 months. So yeah, after that GA, it was crazy. There was no time to do anything but work, basically.
Yeah, I remember going to Francois and being like, "Oh, when are we recording next?" He's like, "I don't know. Just don't talk to me about anything."
I remember you were giving a mental health seminar. And I walked by and you were like, "Hi, Francois, do you want to come in?" I was like, "What is this about?" And you said, "Oh, this is a mental health seminar." I was like, "Good, I have none of that. I'll come."
Yeah, that's right.
We sat
Well,
down.
good on you for going.
Yeah. It was very insightful, actually.
I have no time for mental health.
We actually talked all about that on one of our episodes called Headspace.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll put a link to that in our show notes because I can't remember right now what episode number it was. But anyway, so today we will be talking about the General Assembly. And then in future episodes, we can also give an update of what we've been doing in the last, year or so. But yeah, today we'll finish off our discussion of that. So Dan, do you want to tell us what the GA is and when it happened and all that stuff?
It's still quite soon for me.
We've all got mild PTSD or something.
So I mean, we South Africa hosted and Africa hosted for the first time the International Astronomical Union's General Assembly, which is held every 3 years. So it's a very big conference for all of the astronomers globally. And it was the first time in over 100-year history of the IAU that it was held on the African continent, hosted here in Cape Town. We were all involved at various degrees in organizing it and making it a success, which I think it really was.
Yeah.
We had over 2,000 astronomers here in person and another 600 or so online. And I think everyone had an absolutely great time, maybe in hindsight. No,
rose-colored glasses, maybe.
Yeah, no. I think the visitors from overseas in particular had a great time. I think that we had a huge contingent from across Africa of students and researchers, which was wonderful. Just to see how much is going on in Africa, and there was a lot that happened. A lot of good science, but then also a lot of outreach events and engagements.
Yeah, and I think today we are talking to one of the organizers, Kevin Govender, who is the director of the IAU's Office of Astronomy for Development. So the IAU's Office of Astronomy for Development is an office that is hosted here in South Africa at SAAO. It is hosted at the South African Astronomical Observatory, which is here in Cape Town. And he is the director of that office that's looking at using astronomy for development. And so he was one of the organizers of this big conference, which really went well. And we have him today here being interviewed by
Kashifa Saluji. Yeah, so I mean, the IAU was just this massive event, like a massive festival, pretty much. We'll talk more about our experiences after, but right now we're going to hear from Kevin being interviewed by Kashifa, who is a third-year student at the University of Cape Town, and she is also one of our interns for the Cosmic Savannah, and so she got an opportunity to interview Kevin at the IAU about the experience of the lead up to it and then the organization and then how it was going at the time. So shall we
set some of our interns loose with a recorder?
Yes. They wreaked havoc. No, they did a great job. Let's hear from Kevin.
Hi, welcome to another episode of the Cosmic Savannah. My name is Kashifa Saluji. I'm one of the roving reporters taking interviews at the General Assembly in Cape Town. With me today is
Kevin Govender. I'm the chair of the National Organising Committee and the director of the Office of Astronomy for Development.
Great. Thank you so much for being here. Tell me about yourself and your background in astronomy and the kind of work that you do on a day-to-day basis.
So my background is actually in nuclear physics. I got involved in astronomy as manager of the SALT Collateral Benefits Programme in 2006. That was at the South African Astronomical Observatory. And in 2011, I was the first director of the Office of Astronomy for Development. So my sort of astronomy connection has been largely in the form of science communication, astronomy communication, and education.
Talk me through how you felt finding out that the IAU would be hosting the General Assembly on the African continent, and specifically in South Africa, for the first time ever.
It was very exciting. It was back in Vienna in 2018, and we had put in the bid. The bid presentation was done by Vanessa McBride, and in the closing ceremony of the General Assembly in Vienna, they opened the envelope and announced that the next General Assembly goes to Africa. So it was quite cool that the president at the time, Evine van Dieshoek, didn't say it goes to South Africa. She said it goes to Africa, because we always made it an African bid. So yeah, it was a really happy moment, because this was the second attempt. The first attempt we made was in 2015, and we were not successful. And this was second time lucky.
Lovely. What was the planning and organizing process like for such a momentous event?
Sure. Well, when we came back from Vienna, and we had this delegation that was there at the General Assembly in Vienna, coming back, on a high, celebrating, the first thing we did within a day or two was to sit down and think, okay, what is our vision for 2024? And it started from that point, drawing up our vision, what we want to achieve, what we want to see by 2024, and then it was a case of making it happen. So part of that vision was rallying the African astronomical community. So the following year, in 2019, we had a meeting with astronomers and students from across the continent. We just called the meeting Astronomy in Africa. And that meeting gave rise to a renewed African Astronomical Society. And that African Astronomical Society then continued to grow a network of an astronomy community across the African continent. This then led to the formalities of signing an agreement with the International Astronomical Union. So we signed the agreement between the National Research Foundation and the International Astronomical Union to host the General Assembly. And then it was, the big push of getting the logistics done. So we basically went from signing an agreement to appointing a professional conference organizer to promoting our General Assembly at other events and meetings. And then along the way, we were not happy with the conference organizers, so we separated from them and took on a huge load of volunteers who have been exceptional, and they're the ones that basically put together the details of the conference with a lot of hard work.
Right, and you mentioned the African Astronomical Society. Would you mind speaking more about that?
So this is a body of professional astronomers. So the African Astronomical Society aims to be sort of the voice of astronomy in Africa. So their mission is to try and promote astronomy and grow astronomy on the continent. So with the General Assembly coming up, there was an extra incentive in terms of rallying people to prepare for this meeting. So the African Astronomical Society does things like give seed grants for early career researchers. They have various committees. They host an annual meeting, and so they have done a really good job in bringing together the astronomy community in this region, and the level of presentations, of talks have just been getting better and better. And here at the IAU General Assembly, I think this community that was rallied by the African Astronomical Society is here and presenting to the global community.
What are your expectations for this General Assembly going into it?
What were my expectations? Now that it...
Yes, now that it's over.
So going into this meeting, I think the one thing that we all hoped for, that we wanted to achieve, was to bring people together. We really wanted a global participation. We wanted to have a sufficient number of astronomers to make it worthwhile, so that we could get as many new collaborations established through people sharing their science. But we also wanted this meeting to have an impact on schools, have an impact on the public, on society in general. And I think we've largely achieved that.
All right. I'm glad you mentioned the schools. I know that there were various school tours here, and also I believe that some astronomers went to schools to talk about that. What was the impact and the reaction from students at those schools and for schools touring here?
Cool. So the schools program was a combination. So there's a lot of astronomers here in Cape Town now for this meeting. And so prior to the conference, we called out for potential hosts of astronomers. So basically, for example, science centers, school teachers, any institutions that would be able to host astronomers and facilitate them giving talks and so on. And so when we were advertising these opportunities, we said to all the potential participants of this meeting, would you like to go out, visit a school, meet some kids, and so on? And we had over 600 volunteers from that, from the participants. So our team, led by Duduzile and Sally, they basically organized groups of local people to take the international people out to schools. They arranged the school visits, and so we've, every day there's been tens of schools that have been visited. From the pictures that I'm seeing and the feedback I'm getting, it's been excellent in terms of, the kids taking it on very positively. And, but, it's not possible to get to all the schools. There are some schools in areas where, our international delegates, are sometimes warned about or sometimes feel unsafe to go to. And so we've also brought students to the venue itself. And we tried to bring those students from those schools that are harder to reach. So we have the astronomers going out to schools, we have the schools coming into the venue, and then another big part of our engagement with schools has been that we, with our poster setup where we have 100 screens, webcams, and keyboard mouse, we're using a Raspberry Pi to make each of these screens that we use for our posters into a computer. So with these computers, our intention is to give these to 100 schools in the region, and so that would leave a lasting impact. We'd be able to follow up with the schools. Each school would basically have a computer which we fill with materials, but also that we can connect to the classrooms via Zoom.
All right. And in terms of the community outside of the astronomy community, but various communities within South Africa, do you feel that there's a greater knowledge of the various space science fields and opportunities that are in South Africa compared to before this General Assembly has started, particularly among just the general population? Do you think they have a greater awareness of astronomy in South Africa?
I would hope that they do. I can't say for sure, but just judging from the number of media interviews we've had, the number of journalists that we've had, I think there has been a significant amount of awareness created around these this field and the work that we do in astronomy. So in terms of just the opportunities, having so many international organizations here is, it's more than just them coming to talk to themselves. It's that they want to engage with South Africa, with Africa, and I think that it will be the start of lots more collaborations and opportunities for young researchers, for students. So we'll make sure that that's part of the legacy.
All right. What have you already seen, or are you hoping to see, that this General Assembly does for astronomy in Africa and its expansion and the knowledge about it?
So I think the biggest thing is to have more international collaborations that will enhance the science coming out of the African continent. When we talk about the importance of collaborations, it's because we don't want to work independently of our colleagues in other parts of the world. We need to have those research collaborations. Those research collaborations also bring in opportunities. They bring in research funding. They bring in, postdoctoral researcher opportunities, student fellowships, and so on. And so it will help to have a greater amount of these connections made. And so when our African astronomers, let's say, want to use a big telescope, for example, they will know that, I met this person at the IAU General Assembly, and they might have a telescope I can work with, and so on. And so we want that to be a big outcome of this. It's going to be hard to quantify, but it's inevitable that these types of meetings, by bringing people closer, enhance the research coming out of the continent.
All right, so definitely some more opportunities for African astronomers. Lastly, what was your favorite event that you have hosted here?
Well, so far, I think the highlight has been the link up with the International Space Station on Women's Day. We always dreamed big about what we could potentially do with Women's Day, since it fell right in the middle of the conference. And I think what we achieved, and especially Sally and Duduzile, who lead our outreach committee, they basically arranged for a connection to the International Space Station together with our technical team. And we spoke to a female astronaut on board, Sunny Williams. But that was not the coolest part. We actually had 2 black female astronauts in the audience at the time. And after the connection to the International Space Station, where kids got to ask questions to the astronaut there, we had Dr. Mae Jameson on stage and taking questions from the audience and talking about her work, and in the audience as well we had Cyan Proctor, was the first. So Mae Jameson was the first African American in space, and Cyan Proctor was the first African American female pilot. So these were, it was just a lot, and anyone in the room or watching the stream, I think, was lucky to see these inspirational figures all in the same room, same place on Women's Day in South Africa.
Great, that's so wonderful to hear. Thank you so much for your time here, and congratulations for everything that you and your team have put together over this past 2 weeks. It's been amazing to see and to hear about, so thank you so much for all of that.
Cool, thank you very much.
So that was really cool hearing from Kevin, one of the main organisers, and I think Kashva did a great job
She did.
She did.
of interviewing him. And we actually had several interns roaming around on the floor with the microphone. And we're going to, in upcoming episodes, play the full interviews with that they did. But we just wanted to give you a little bit of a taster right now, a little snippet of some of the interviews and who was interviewed. And just as an example of like who was there at the GA, there was so many people from all over the world, from all over Africa and international. So let's hear from them now.
And today in the afternoon, we celebrated what is known as the India Day in the booth in the exhibition hall where the Astronomical Society of India has a booth. So we were basically celebrating the achievements that we have had in space exploration, which India has had in space exploration.
The GA, especially coming to Africa, has really exposed me to the amazing opportunities and research and amazing people that have always been meeting in Zoom meetings, but at least I can see them now at the GA. But the GA, South Africa has done a fantastic job in hosting it.
So the Zimbabwean Astronomical Society is a very, very new society. We had our first meeting in May, if I remember correctly, May the 13th. So this is a society that myself and fellow Zimbabweans have started to try and encourage astronomy growth, research, outreach, and education in Zimbabwe.
All right, we've heard from 3 very interesting people there at the GA. That very much is pretty much the experience in the GA. You walk around, you knock into someone who's from India, who's from UK, who's from Kenya.
You knock into them?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I was running around.
Yeah, me too. I was running around like a headless chicken.
There were so many people.
I was
like electrons.
Yeah, because you all have so much energy, and you're just like going.
No, I mean, if you want to go deep into it, like I was like an electron. I was accused of being a blur.
You were ionized.
Yeah,
ionized electron.
I was a probability.
Yeah.
And then every now and again I would appear.
Because somebody measured you.
Yeah, exactly.
And at some point it was both there and not there. But
Oh, I like how we went all scientific with that
All of the
metaphor.
time. Yeah.
Anyway, it was chaos. So many people at the convention center.
Yeah, lots of people.
What did you guys get up to? What were your impressions?
Well, I can go first because I wasn't one of the organisers. I intentionally stayed as far away from organising as possible just because I knew I was also we're going to be lecturing at the same time, and that was the correct decision because it was already at the very edge of what I could handle. Now, I have to admit this. I had, for some reason, a very negative attitude going into the GA. I just had this bad attitude about it. I don't know where I got this from, but I was like, oh, I don't want to spend my time 2 weeks, blah, blah. I need to be lecturing, blah, blah.
It's a good voice.
Oh, thank you. That's my inner monologue.
It's a bad voice.
Yeah. But I must say it really blew me away. It far exceeded my expectations.
was it your first GA?
It was my first GA, yep. First General Assembly, and it was just like this massive festival. I loved walking in. There were people from all over the world, so many of them. You walk into the exhibition hall and there are just all of these extremely colorful and vibrant displays and a blow-up planetarium and a huge setup from NASA and astronauts and Nobel laureates and all of this ridiculous stuff everywhere. Politicians and the SKA had this huge setup, and there's the countries bidding for the upcoming GAs. They all had their stations. I think there was Western Australia and India and Italy and Chile and a lot of so lots of cultural stuff. There was an Astro Radio Astro or something like that. So an actual radio station doing interviews at the time the whole way through. I liked hearing our ad for our live show being played on repeat. That was cool. And then you go to there's 3 or 4 scientific symposia going on at the same time, conferences, and so you kind of have to choose which one you are going to attend, and you're but I want to go to all of them at the same time, and so you run between the different rooms and don't actually see any of them because you're too busy running between the rooms. And then there's these poster sessions where anyone who didn't get an opportunity to give a talk has made a poster. But it was really interesting how they did it. Instead of having printed out all of our posters and put them on boards, because we had to rotate them so much because there was hundreds of posters, they actually had them on these big TV screens. And it was this hybrid thing where like you would go there, stand next to your poster, people would come and talk to you about it in person, and also people online like could put their videos on, and their video would come up also on the corner of the screen, and they could talk to you as if they were standing right there, and you would just talk back at the TV screen and they could hear you. So it was a really interesting experience, which I thought I was skeptical of it, I admit, at first, but I saw that it worked quite well. And I think I don't know how much energy was used up with these TVs, but I thought that it was quite a good approach towards, dealing with the whole climate change issue with like too much traveling for science. And if we have to like travel less, how can we do that? And I think it was a good trial of that. Yeah. I didn't actually get to go to any science talks myself because I was hosting a politician and helping my students with things. I know.
Sorry.
But we'll get onto that in a second.
But you, of course, gave a talk there as well.
Did I? Oh, I did.
About the cosmic savannah.
I did. I gave a talk on the cosmic savannah.
Yeah.
I went to that. I was like,
we were all there. Yeah.
You were.
Oh, were you?
You took pictures.
Or did you have to go to a different event at the same time?
I don't know. I might have.
I don't know. It's all a blur now. Anyway, we did give a talk, and then like so much entertainment as well, like culture groups and choirs, and I loved the flash mob.
Yes.
Yeah.
Were you there?
Cool.
Did you all see that?
Yes, I was there.
Yeah, it was in the like convention center, in the exhibition hall, and then someone randomly started like singing some African song, and we're like, oh yeah, that's kind of normal. But then like someone else started
Africa's
singing, and I was
awesome.
like, oh yeah, someone else is enjoying themselves too. And then more people started. I was like, oh my god, is this a flash mob? I've never seen a flash mob. Oh my god, it's happening! And then like this whole like choir started singing for ages, and we can play some of the audio now.
And that's the UP Avoa Ensemble Choir. I think they really did so great. I mean, they were
So
quite
good.
amazing.
It's amazing.
But I think what Jacinta's also describing is how different. I mean, it's a good thing I asked, is this your first General Assembly? Because I don't think you can get this feel anywhere else but in Africa.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we did. That was done very well here. The vibes.
They brought out the
Yes.
African vibes.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
there. It was just there the way we wanted it to be. But it was also busy.
Yeah.
And sure, like
2
I
weeks.
said, it's 2 weeks. Early mornings,
Yeah.
late nights.
Late nights, because there was like
Expensive parking.
Not for me,
food.
because I was in a
Oh,
hotel
yeah.
across the road. I was like 150 meters away, and just as well because
You were
I was.
walking on gold.
Yeah.
I was there from 6 a.m. until midnight every day, pretty
Jeez.
much.
I guess I should maybe not admit on recording that I parked there too, even though I wasn't staying there. No one told me off.
Oh my.
I thought that we were
You
allowed
parked
to.
at the hotel?
Yeah. I did it the first day and no one said anything. So I was like, oh, I guess we're allowed to do this.
You didn't tell me.
Just smile and wave.
But yeah, I was also a chair of a full-on session. So I had to make sure that everything ran smoothly for that, because you always know how this goes with talks. It's people must submit talks on time, but
What were you chairing?
the sessions, the OEE sessions. So I was the chair of the whole for the whole full day.
The symposium?
Office of Astronomy Education.
Yes.
Office of Astronomy
Astronomy-
Education
no.
Symposium. No.
Office of Astronomy for Education.
Okay.
Sorry, that's my bad.
Okay. Yeah. So I saw you running around like a headless chicken several times.
Yeah, so I needed to get that in order. But that was on the second day, I think. So it was a bit too much to try and do, because the first few days are when all the mistakes happen,
Yeah.
right? But that went really well. The talks that we gave were like the quality of talks generally was so good. I was not expecting that, I must say.
Oh, congratulations.
So really, yeah, thank you. I didn't give the talks.
No, but
Congratulations
you
to the
ran a good
people
event.
who actually gave the talks. And I also went to some of the science talks, some of the outreach talks that were there. Also some interesting talks on like the use of telescopes in high schools, and how those students are now actually publishing data from. I thought that was really great, because we always talk about how do we take astronomy into the schools, but we don't actually give them the resources to actually do astronomy. And so this is one of those movements that are being done by the LCO group, I think, and Michael Fitzgerald and Edward Gomez, that whole group. I think they really did well. And the talks that they gave was just like, we need to get into this. You know, if we're speaking about astronomy for education, astronomy for development, but we never actually speak about the resources that we actually use in astronomy to do these things and how students can get into using them, then definitely doesn't make sense. So I think that was one of the things I actually enjoyed, like just seeing that bridge being done so well. There were many other things. Oh yes, we had astronauts.
Oh yeah,
we had astronauts.
Didn't you go to dinner with an astronaut?
I went to dinner with an astronaut.
Oh my god!
Out of this world.
Was shut.
With Cyan Proctor, I went to dinner with her on one of the days, and she's really cool. She is really cool people. Just
bow down. Oh,
no doubt,
queen.
You know,
So
like,
well spoken and like engaging and just like happy to talk and share and
happy,
just,
just all the time.
Very
and
cool.
then she asked the question, does anyone want to go to space? And like, you know, you see all these hands going up, and she's like, yeah, I was also one of those people, and I actually went, and I thought, that's really cool.
Yeah, I saw her talk, but I was online because I couldn't get there after my lecture. But she was talking about how she was like an artist.
Yeah.
And at first, like, that was part of the reason why she got to go to space and everything. Like, so cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
And then the other person is May Jameson.
May Jameson,
Jameson was also there.
Yeah.
She also gave a talk on Women's Day, which was quite amazing to have a female astronomer, the first Black female astronomer. Let me correct myself there. Astronaut. Sorry.
Yeah.
Too many corrections there.
And she was in that session where there was a live link up to the International Space Station, right?
Yes.
That's
and
so cool.
What was really great was it was Women's Day, and then we had her speaking, but there was also the connection with the ISS, and an astronaut was actually the one responding to the question.
Yeah,
the female
so cool.
astronaut, actually.
In
So it
space,
was just
live.
like,
I missed that session, but that
just
sounds
so
cool.
Yeah.
So
And
wholesome.
yeah, and Cyan also joined, so we just like, okay.
Amazing. Perfect.
Yeah. So the GA, those moments were really cool. It's the engagements with people, I guess, that make it a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you get after, Francois? Was it too soon?
Oh no, it was during your honors.
No, I was a volunteer. So in order to afford to go, I had to volunteer to run mics and run around and help the organizers and stuff. So I had a wildly different experience. But it was weird to go because it's my first conference, but it didn't really feel like that because I was basically running around.
Yeah.
Although I was sort of in the JWST room a lot of the time with mics running around, which was interesting. Listening to science talks were great and
That's
so on.
cool.
Yeah,
I missed that
that's cool.
entire symposium.
Oh, it
I'm
was
kind of
great.
devastated.
It was really cool.
So the James Webb Space Telescope,
Yeah.
right? Like the one of the biggest, newest, not technically,
Toys.
but like replacement of the Hubble, but like super cool big telescope making revolutionary discoveries. And you were in the actual conference where they were presenting these new discoveries.
It was really cool.
That's
It was
awesome.
really fun to watch. But yeah, it was a lot of running around, a lot of like doing stuff for organizers and so on. So yeah, a bit like Dan blurring around, not as busy, of course, but running around.
I was on that WhatsApp group too, but I was creating the work. Like, sending everything.
So you were
you volunteers here now? Like,
you were the minion.
Pretty much, yeah.
I have the WhatsApp group muted.
I've gone. All the WhatsApp groups were just like the next week gone. I'm out. I haven't looked at them since. Why would I?
But a particular highlight was the talent show. That was hilarious.
Oh, did you go?
Yes, I went. I didn't perform, of course. I have no talent, but that one was fun. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, so
Quite interesting.
Yeah, so there was the astronomers got other talents.
Yes.
And I really like the other because, just doing astronomy is a talent on its own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see, Francois,
kind
you
of-
do have talent.
Yeah.
What kind of performances did they do? I missed that entirely.
Lots of singing, lots of dancing. There was one guy with a guitar, and then there was that guy who made a song for the GA.
Oh, yes.
yes,
yeah,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Ghanaian guy, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other things, it was mainly singing and dancing. And there was one older astronomer who did a number from Cats, which was
Beautiful.
hilarious.
You can't say that.
Memory, yes, he did memory.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
great.
okay, sorry. I was going to say you can't
What a song.
you can't say bad things on air, but if you're saying it was actually good, then
Yeah.
No, well, yeah. I enjoyed it.
Oh,
It was great.
there's some big notes you got to get to.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's ambitious for sure. And Dan, how was your experience? You were definitely a blur. Like what? You were part of the
Yeah.
whole organizing.
Yeah, so I was
One of the main ones.
One of the main ones. So I was responsible for all the media communications. So basically, we did a daily newspaper that went out every morning at like 6 a.m., which is why I was up at, I don't know what time I was up. I just didn't sleep. And yeah, so that was the sort of recap of the previous day with photos and stuff, and then articles, and then also like what was coming up. So we put that out every day, which was really cool, and went really well. And then running all the comm stuff. So moving the photographer around. We had a brilliant photographer,
he was
Bradley.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was incredible. He was just everywhere. He was also a blur. Just popped up exactly where you needed him, whenever you needed him. And then the media, I mean, we had a huge amount of media coverage. We had like live crossings with national TV like multiple times. So the first couple of days, that was like all I did. Finding people to be interviewed, like dealing with the broadcasters.
My
and just-
pleasure, Diane.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Were you interviewed?
Yeah.
It was like, like
Were you the poster child here?
like please do an interview. It's like, no, I can't. Like, come on. I just get like a list. Like, right, we need 6 people and we need them at 10:15. Like, okay.
But at least you just like if you throw out a fishing rod, you catch like 10 or 20 astronomers at any given time.
Yeah, but then they don't always show up. And,
true.
And also the I mean, I shouldn't complain, but like the media also like, oh, we changed our minds. Like, like wait, what? Like, so yeah, that was the first few days were particularly intense with all the media stuff. After that, it calmed down a little bit, but still, like the daily newspaper and then all the other stuff that was going on. I mean, just
You were schmoozing the whole time.
and I did a lot of schmoozing.
With
so
like,
then there was a
I don't
lot
know,
of like,
high level, the minister.
the
minister of
minister
science.
came, and there were all these like ambassadors and the like. So there was like a fancy breakfast which you went to just into 2.
Oh, yes, I was.
You do love a good schmooze too.
Yeah, well, when I can. No, I got to host the acting High Commissioner of Australia to come visit, David Khaya, and that was really, really cool. That was such a good experience. And so I got to go to like Bigwig's fancy breakfast where there was like the guest speakers were like a Nobel laureate, like, Brian Schmidt, Phil Diamond, the Director General of the SKA, Mae Jameson, an astronaut, and there was also who was the first director of the
NRF.
the National Research Foundation,
And like the brainchild of SALT.
and the brainchild of the SALT telescope. And so I was just sitting there, like, I didn't even know what this breakfast was for. I was just told to rock up for breakfast at this time. And then there's Dan in this like full-on suit, and I was like, what is happening right now? And there was like just an entire room of VIPs, and guys, the breakfast, it was so good.
What did you have?
I don't actually remember, but it was like a buffet. So, when you just go and get one of everything. And then Dan and I could like collaborate on making sure that the right people schmoozed
We were like
together.
maneuvering
that like
people next to each other.
manipulation. It was great. I love that.
I don't remember the breakfast either. All I remember was just coffee.
Yeah, lots of coffee.
much
Just like injection into
And
my veins.
I think I was like
please.
always in a suit. I think I wore a jacket like all the time.
Yeah.
every
Yeah,
day.
you did.
Yeah.
Except when I wore a tux.
No, it was cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was intense. It was cool. It was a good experience. I did walk out of it being like, I will never do that again. Like,
It's done. I'm glad I did it. But
yeah, it's like it was a good experience.
Yeah.
It was good to organize something of that scale.
Yeah.
And yeah, but tough. The one other thing I wanted to say, because I have a great like story about it, is one of the things that the GA that they do. So in 2006, they voted Pluto to be a dwarf planet, not a planet anymore. So at the General Assemblies, they have these resolutions, which then every member of the International Astronomical Union gets to vote on a resolution.
Yeah.
And I did vote this year.
Yeah, yes.
I was so excited last year.
Me too.
I did. I think I did. I can't remember now.
So there was a resolution on like satellite interference.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So basically like trying to regulate the satellites and their effect on astronomy. And then the other one was on lunar time, which was so cool. Like, because I don't know if you've actually sat down and thought about lunar time, because on South Africa, on the world, Earth, we have time zones, right? But time is, you just add an hour, you subtract an hour, happy days. What are you going to do when you go to the moon? Any ideas? You don't get to just add an hour, subtract an hour. Why not? Time runs at a different speed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
True.
Yep. Gravity's different on the moon. So time runs differently. You can't have like a conversion between Earth time and moon time.
Yes.
It has to have its own time running independently of Earth.
Really?
Makes sense.
So now they're setting up like, a GPS system for the moon with its own time.
That's cool.
And we voted on that.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not vote on that. I missed
so
that
cool.
entirely.
What was the vote? What was the vote on? If
So
to do that or not?
so it was basically to do it and how to do it. And the idea is that there will be no time zones on the moon.
Okay.
There's like coordinated lunar time. There is one time on the moon and it runs at its own speed, but it's only one time.
Okay.
So that at least now when you land, you know what time you land, and
Yeah.
Moon time.
when the flights take off and land, it's a little bit easier. Anyway, that was cool. I like that.
I think that was really cool as well. Yeah.
I just did this to say that we've got 3 minutes left of this recording, but I totally forgot that we've
on
got
camera.
video now.
I was about to say that.
Yeah. At least it wasn't 1 minute.
Oh well. Well, before we quickly wrap up, hey.
Or two.
Okay, but guys, we had our live show as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How cool was that?
Yeah. So we have played the live show
Yes.
episode
Yes.
already.
Yeah.
So hopefully you had a listen to that.
Yeah.
Super fun. Definitely the highlight for all of us for the GA.
Well, it was for me.
Gotta be.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
Yeah. Say it was your highlight. Yeah.
It's not.
My highlight.
Well, how did you find it?
Well, I must say that we looked really amazing.
We did. We looked damn good.
For our live
did.
show. We looked amazing.
If we don't say so ourselves.
There are pictures on our website. Take note.
And you go back to them regularly.
Every now I do. I actually have one of my pictures from there as a profile picture on one of my social media. I was like, oh, this is really cool.
It's a cool photo. From that the professional photographer took that photo in your amazing live dress and your headwear.
Yeah, that was really cool. But my highlight also was the it wasn't really a big thing, but it was quite big for me. So an astronomer from Germany came to South Africa many years ago, and they did some work and collected some data at the Boyden Observatory, which is in Free State. And all that data, long time ago, it was collected on some plates that he then took all the way back to Germany. And during the GA, Markus Posel, who's the director of the IAU OAE and works at the Max Planck Institute in Germany, returned those gold plates back.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Back to South Africa, and someone from the Boyden Observatory in Free State was there to receive these. And I think that was my highlights. Just
That's really cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I repatriated
That's like
it.
goosebumps.
Yep.
Yeah. That's pretty
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. But back to the live show, because I just remember that we've actually got the studio. We don't have to get out at 12, do we?
But we should wrap up.
Yeah. Oh, we're fine. Okay, we're fine. Okay, but we can just finish this discussion. Yeah. So, but okay, Francois. So you weren't a host yet. You were our manager. So you came on stage to get your flowers and your thanks at the
the chocolates
end.
were delicious.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
They were fantastic.
I didn't get chocolates.
Yeah.
Neither did I.
Well, you should have organised them for yourselves, guys. You're not. I don't have to be the only one doing the organisation, but I did because you guys were, to be fair, organising a lot of other things in the GA. But anyway, my question for you, Francois, was how was the show from the audience?
I think it was really good. It was an interesting experience to see the Cosmic Savannah hosts live. I think that was a pretty interesting thing.
Well, everyone's experiencing it now too.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
maybe.
That's true. But at that point, you'd never have seen them. It's a bit like when you listen to someone on the radio for a while and you see what they look like.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no.
Your voice
No
doesn't
way.
match.
Yeah.
I wonder
Yeah.
if my
All the
voice
time.
matches.
I think that was probably what most people were thinking, but I thought it was great.
That's what most
You
people were
had, to be fair,
thinking.
you,
Yeah, well, I've
you know
seen
what
it,
it looked
guys.
like.
Contact us at Cosmic Savannah. And let us know if our voices match. And if not, we can swap around.
Yeah, we can do that now. But yeah, I think it was very energetic. The live band was fantastic. I think that was great. Brian is always a great person, and as well,
Nicole.
Yes, Nicole was
Yeah.
fantastic as well. It was just it was a great event. I think you guys looked a bit nervous at the beginning.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
I think everyone understood. Of course, it's first live event. It's not easy to perform live in front of that many people. From your guys' perspective, I wanted to ask, what was it like to just see that many people?
That was cool.
Like listening to the Cosmic Savannah, because usually it's not that. You like sit in the little pendulum room and there's no one there, and it's just you guys and so on, and that must have been a bit weird.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I think like, you can look at the stats and how many downloads we had, but it doesn't quite feel like people are listening. You interact with a few people who are like, oh, I love your podcast.
You're like, yeah, you're just saying that.
But having having everyone there was pretty cool. And I mean, like you said, like the marimba band was like spot on. I mean,
Guys, we had a marimba band playing our theme song.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
that was
which actually, like, I mean, those guys were super impressive because
great.
like they arrived like an hour before, and I was like, okay, cool. So I sent you the theme tune like 2 weeks ago. Like, have you been practicing? And they were like, when did you send it to us? I'm like, dude, like, come on, like this was the one thing I wanted you to play our theme tune. He's like, well, how does it go? I'm like, let me find it. So I just like go to like my Pocket Cast and play like the beginning of an episode, and he's like, okay, and then they just start playing it.
Oh,
That's crazy.
Like, I was like, yeah, that's pretty much it. He's like, we've got it. Yeah, no further questions.
I'm glad you didn't tell me that because I would have had a heart attack.
Oh, by the way, they haven't practiced at all. Like,
yeah.
But to be fair, we didn't practice at all.
no, and that maybe that did show a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
But
I
also,
think-
we screeched in at the last minute.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what
it's
I was
like-
about to say. Like, for me, it wasn't nerves at all. It was sheer disorganization.
I mean, you weren't in your dress until 3 minutes.
And makeup.
Well, I mean, things are important. But yeah, we had poor Sumari and
Yes.
some of our interns. Sumari, our social media manager, flew in from Joburg just for the
Yes.
show. And we had her making these like cue cards for us with the stickers on the back. And then it like went right up until like a minute before the show. These were all getting done. I was saying to Brian backstage, take your badge off, take your name badge off. Come on. Now you get in there. Now you go sit down. Now you go sit over there. And we hadn't practiced at all.
No.
Nothing. And so we, you know, like when we sit in a studio, we usually like start the episode and was like, well, that was terrible. Let's start that again. Because we need to like wait to get our vibe and our banter, whatever. But we're just like, oh no, we are on stage at the moment.
And I only wrote down one joke.
And
But
so,
I think we got a couple in.
Oh, yeah, for
While
sure.
we started.
Yeah.
I really liked your sorry Jacob joke at the beginning.
which most people, the audience wouldn't understand because we edit out Jacob
Well,
edits out
to be
the-
fair, I mean, if they listen
Sorry,
to the
Jacob.
bloopers at the end of most episodes,
Oh, yeah.
there's
That's
almost
true.
always a sorry
That's
joke.
Yeah. Jacob's our editor. Yeah. So no, I thought it was so much fun though. I had such a high afterwards.
I must say, I could not see the people.
Yeah.
I
'cause
Yeah,
it's
pretended
sure.
like I
dark.
was seeing them, but like I just
Yeah.
saw no one.
No, you can't make out a face.
Not at all, yeah. And I think just before we went on stage, we were just fixing our mics outside. And then the band was playing and we just like started dancing.
Yeah, that's
like- I
right.
was
That
just
was the
like-
moment. They were like, yeah, we got this. We got this, guys.
We're going to go just now.
Dun, dun,
And then we went onto the stage and they're like, oh, we don't got this.
Yeah. I think the first thing I did, I don't know if anyone saw, was trip over the wire on
Yeah.
the ground there.
Yeah, but I mean, the band really helped. I mean, they also they played for like 15 minutes before we walked in, and the crowd were loving it. So
I think it was half an hour, and there was like a saxophone at one point.
Yes, and we missed all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they set a wonderful tone.
Yeah,
so.
but it's on YouTube, and you've got the link on the episode for the live show, the full link to the whole YouTube episode. And I've watched it because I wanted to see the marimba band play, which was really cool. All right, so. Yeah, but actually I did see the audience with my entire third year undergraduate class, which was great. I'm glad they were all there, and they cheered for us when we walked on, and that like really set the mood. So it was like
that was their lecture for the day.
Yeah, it was actually.
And she cancelled the lecture.
Yeah, on the stage I cancelled the next day's lecture, so that was great.
That's why they were all cheering.
They got to meet Brian before as well.
Yeah, so Brian and Nicole both spent like an hour talking to my students, just like basically just in a room privately, which was awesome before the show. So thanks very much to them for doing that. And then I think other than our live show, that my highlight was the closing ceremony when everyone just started singing Shosholoza, which I don't know if you want to explain for people who don't know what that is.
I mean, I don't know much about it. I'm just like...
She doesn't speak Zulu. I speak more Zulu than her.
But like, I think I know that Shosholoza, number one, it's a train, but also people in the mines also used to sing Shosholoza.
So it was like the migrant workers when they were sort of coming from sort of the provinces to the mines in Gauteng. So it was one of the songs. It's like, like we're working together, we're going like through the mountains, and we'll play a little bit of it now. You'll hear, but it's become a real sort of
anthem almost.
Anthem, right? So like, I mean, we definitely don't need to get talking about my running, but like the big comrades, like the huge running race that happens every year, like they play it at the start, and it's
oh my gosh,
just, I mean, tears, tears. Like it's just like all these strong, powerful people like singing, and
oh my gosh,
it's very cool.
What does Shosholoza actually mean?
It means like work together, I think. Like, like we're together. We're moving forward together. Like,
It has a lot of it's about moving from one place to another.
We move together.
There's a word in English that almost like perseverance, right?
Perseverance. Okay, amazing. Anyway, it was so cool because I don't know, I guess it was a semi-flash mob where all the organisers had like learnt the song and learnt the dance, together, and then everyone kept coming up on stage until the stage was full. And
I don't know. I think if you've spent more than a few years in South Africa, you probably know Shosholoza.
Yeah. No, but is there a dance that goes with it? Or
no, it's just like a forward back. Like
okay. Well, anyway, so I was
it in your soul just until
I felt it in my soul. I was singing my little lungs out. You'll see. I've recorded some of it on my phone, so I'll play. We can play it for you now. And it was such a great moment. All right, I think we've chatted for a long time today, but I hope people will have listened to the whole thing because they would have missed us a lot, guys. They would have missed us so much, and now they've
and we missed you.
We've missed them. Yeah.
All right, so that's it for today. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope you'll join us again for the next episode of The Cosmic Savannah.
You can visit our website, thecosmicsavannah.com, where we'll have transcripts, links, pictures, and other stuff related to today's episode.
You can follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram at Cosmic Savannah. That's Savannah spelled SAVANNAH. And you can now find us on YouTube, where not only audio episodes, but also video episodes are uploaded with closed captions, which can be auto-translated into many different languages, including Afrikaans, isiXhosa, and isiZulu.
Special thanks today to Kevin Govender for speaking with us and the little snippets from our upcoming episodes.
Thanks to our podcast manager, me, our social media manager, Sumari Hatting, Abigail Thamarain for transcription, Shaman for website design, Emil Mankis for video creation, and the whole Cosmic Savannah volunteer team.
Thanks to Mark Allnut for music production, Brian Masamula and Mihal Wechek for photography, Carl Jones for astrophotography, and Susie Karras for graphic design.
We gratefully acknowledge support from the South African National Research Foundation, the Square Kilometre Array Observatory, the South African Agency for Science and Technology Advancement, the South African Astronomical Observatory, the University of Cape Town Astronomy Department, and the One Button Studio at UCT.
You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube. And we'd really appreciate it if you could rate and review us and recommend us to a friend.
We'll speak to you again next time on The Cosmic Savannah.
Edit point.
Yeah.
And you can switch your cards if you need to.
Yes.
You can hear at the end of the video go, woo!
Maybe we can cut that bit out.
And cut.
Nice.
How do we record?
Oh my God.